recording, and I'll share my screen. And if someone can tell me if they can see my screen. Hello, Heidi, Stephanie. Good.
I can see your screen.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you.
Kitty.
Hello,
Hello.
Stephanie. Ni hao. Good to see you.
Yeah, 你好，你好。
All right, now
Hello,
before I get
everyone.
yeah, hello Heidi. Good to see you, dear. I've just wanted to start off with what I call the key topic for tonight, and that is something that I've done a special presentation for us so that we know if we are able to do all these 7 steps, then we pretty much should be able to meet our target in terms of whatever goals that we may have. So that's what I would start off first, and then after that we'll go through the agenda. Okay, so any question that you may have, please feel free to type it in your the group chat here. Okay, so TLS weight loss solution. With TLS, there are 7 simple steps. If you are able to follow, then whatever goals that you may have, you should be able to achieve. It's just a matter of time. All right, so step 1, of course, to set your goals, you really need to know your weight loss goals, whether it's like 3 kilos, 5 kilos, some might want to lose 10, 20, 30, it doesn't matter. As long as you know, it doesn't even have to be, as I mentioned, the kilos, because as I always say, it's not just only the numbers on the scale as kilos or pounds, but also, the whole body composition, which includes your body fat percentage, your centimeters around your waist, your chest and your hips, as well as your metabolic age, etc., etc. So the first step is for you to determine what kind of goals do you have. So I'm sure that all of you, before you started, as you've shared with me, you all know what your weight goals are. And okay, so and some of our team members on our group want to only just say, for example, maintain their existing health, which means that they don't necessarily need to lose weight, and that's good as well. But having said that, there are still people that say, for example, myself, I'm on my ideal weight, but I still want to increase my muscle mass. So for that reason, TLS is also crucial in order for me to maintain my weight, but at the same time build up my muscle so that my metabolism, is going to be maintained as I'm getting older, you see. So every single one of us, we have different goals. So that is very, very important for every single one of us to be understanding that. Okay, so step 2 is to take the weight loss profile on the website. Every single one of us have actually been through the website, whether it's your own or my one. When you go through that, you will be told what sort of plan is the best for you. So what I can see here, we've got Brian, Heidi, and Stephanie and Hui are on Sure and Steady. Heath is on Sure and Steady and continued commitment, just to sort of start off, and Nancy also is on continued commitment. So once you know about what your menu plan and supplement suggestions are, then follow that, because if you know what your plans are, then you follow and you'll be able to meet your goals. And as I mentioned, we've got videos that will provide education, and towards the end of this call, I'm gonna be giving you a whole playlist of the whole 12 weeks. I've decided to do that because I realized that in the past, every single Monday, I would release 1 video at a time. Some people may be busy that week and they don't even have a chance to watch the video. So what I'm gonna do, because I've recorded all of them already in the past, so you have access to all of the videos, okay? And then you can watch it whenever you can. Some of the videos you can watch it more than once, because there may be things that you don't remember watching it once. Like, for example, this video that I'm doing with you, now that you're actually watching it, but in the future, you might find it helpful to come back and see, oh, okay, maybe, I want to be reminded what are some of the steps that Kitty talks about, that's important as well. And that's something that I personally have been doing with my own, learning, whether it's a business, whether it's to do with my health and my learning audio, video has always been something I take time out to watch so that I am knowledgeable, and the same thing will go for every single one of you. So that's number 2. Number 3 step that is extremely important. So when you find out what your menu plan and supplements are, then you go through those recommendations, whether it's the 21-day or we've now changed to a 30-day jump start, or the detox first and then go through like Sure and Steady, or say for example, I know other people that want to just maintain will be continued commitment. So again, every single one of you on this call knows where you're at. Okay, so if you know where you're at, then definitely follow the menu plan, okay, and follow the supplements that are recommended to you. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about the different supplements that are in the kit for you as well. All right, so step 4 is to order the TLS journal and guide and do it. It's very important because I know that I sound like a broken record, but I always say this, whether it's through Zoom like this or on the WhatsApp. I always say, those people that I've worked with as my students or like clients like all of you who do the TLS journals regularly are the ones that always get better results, because they are able to measure, monitor, and adjust, and then they do better knowing where they're at. And of course, some people might not like to do journaling, and I understand that, and I get that. Then, you can even just sort of, have in your mind, that might not be writing it down, but you can use an app or some other method. But if there is a way that you can actually, follow how you're doing, then that would be a really good thing to do. And there are different supplements which I'll talk about. Step 5 is record your weights and measurements and take before photos. So at this stage, I think not every single one of you have done that yet. If you haven't, I would highly recommend that you do it. Most of you have, I think, but the weight is, of course, if you have a scale, measure your how many kilos. Measurements is the weekly, body composition, including if you don't have like a scale to do that, what I would suggest is to get like a measuring tape, which can easily be purchased, and at least measure your waist. If you can also measure the other areas that are recorded in the TLS journal, that's even better, because that way you can see, how many centimeters or inches you've lost. And so then you don't only just focus on how many kilos that you've lost. So that is important as well. And taking before photos, and then after we finish the 12 weeks, take the after photos so that you can see the differences between the before and after. And that is something that is really crucial and very encouraging when you see the differences. So that's why as soon as you start, take the before photo. So how many of you here on this call have taken before photos, and how many haven't yet? Let me just have a look. So Brian has, Heath has, Heidi has. Heidi, in fact, has a really good testimonial with the before and after photos that she's done, since she started. And that's one of the testimonials I always share with people. Who is High Future? Can I get iFuture to identify yourself, please? iFuture, who are you? Hello there, iFuture. Who are you?
Yes.
Who's this?
Okay.
Hello, who is this?
Yes.
What's your name? Hey?
It's Amy.
Oh, Amy!
Yes.
Sorry, Amy, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
No?
Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So, Amy, you haven't sent me your before photo yet, have you?
Yeah, I did. I think in the beginning. Yeah.
In the beginning, you did. Oh, I better go back and look at it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then I have Liwa. Yep, Liwa sent one. Nancy, yes. Simon, hello, Simon. Yes, I have yours. Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie, don't remember whether you've sent me your photo. If you haven't.
Sorry, Kitty. The reason just I want to tell you, because I cannot, very committed to this TLS this time. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but
Okay.
I will try. Yeah, next time. Yeah.
Okay, try next time. Okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
No problem.
So I just go through all of the things, follow your, instruction, whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's okay, no
Yeah.
problem. And then Hui, yep, good. Okay, welcome. All right, then next is step 6 is to commit to a healthy TLS lifestyle. Now, once you've done 1 to 5, the next very crucial thing is to really follow it, because as we mentioned, TLS is a lifestyle. It's not just a diet, really, because when people think about weight loss, they think, oh, it's a diet, but in fact it's a transition lifestyle system. It's a lifestyle. So it's very important for us to follow it with the 4 different pillars, and the low glycemic impact eating, the supplements, having enough sleep, drinking enough water, exercising, and of course the education. Like part of this is of course the videos and the weekly video, and I'm gonna send you the whole playlist and this monthly Zoom, as well as our daily, in fact more than daily, I'm always on there, of both our WhatsApp group and our Facebook group, and you can always get hold of me if you need any support and education. Okay, so that's available to you. That's step 6. Then step 7, which is the last one but not least, is to be part of the TLS community. In fact, in our group on WhatsApp, we've got more than 20 people. And even in this group alone, we have more than 10 people. But it's very important for us to be in a community so that we can support each other, like a peer mentoring. So as I mentioned, of course I'm your coach, but then you have each other to support. And that's why I would love for every single one of you to, as much as possible, I know that we're all busy, but if you've got tips and or things that you find may be helpful for your fellow TLSers, then post them on the WhatsApp group, and that will be able to support one another. And of course, we also have Facebook group and Facebook page as well. Okay, so that's basically what I have in terms of today's special sharing, but I also have something else that I want to share with you. But before I do that, let me just have a look at the chat and see who's got question here for me. All right, so I've answered Brian's question about having the isochrome alongside with the OPC3 and multivitamin. So that means 1 serving, 1 cap of isochrome, 2 caps of the OPC3, and 1 cap of the multivitamin. So 4 caps with 240 ml of water each day. Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah, very good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, great.
Okay, cool. And then, so welcome. We've got Nancy from Sydney. We've got Heath, originally from New Zealand, a Kiwi, living in Melbourne. And we've got Hui as well. And Brian, can we take 2 TLS nutrition shakes per day? Definitely you can. In fact, TLS shakes can be taken as snacks. So we always suggest, Brian, that you have the proper breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And in between, we recommend that you have snacks in between breakfast and lunch, snack in between lunch and dinner. And of course, you can have both of those snacks using TLS nutrition shakes. Okay?
So
yeah,
2 a day?
2 a day is fine.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend is, you might want to sort of split up a little bit. Like you might want to have like a combination of, the vanilla and the chocolate, or just the chocolate, or just the vanilla, and add a banana one time, and the other time you might add, blueberries and different things. And, we also have a nutrition shakes baking and shaking menu recipes, which I can post on Facebook or WhatsApp for you to follow. In
Cool.
fact, Heidi, if I can get you, Heidi, to share a little bit about the protein bar that the protein ball that you just did using the shake. I saw that. That's beautiful.
I
I haven't done that
use
myself, so I thought you might be better off telling us.
no, I use muesli, you know, the morning breakfast muesli, some nuts and almond spread.
Yep.
And two, like say about everything is about 1 cup or 1/3 or 2/3 of a cup, depends on what you like.
Ah, yes, right.
And then 2 scoops of the nutrition shake. I use the chocolate.
Ah, okay.
And then I start blending them, and you can add a little 1 spoon or 2 teaspoons of water, but
Yeah, okay.
warm water, not
Mm.
because it needs to be boiled, it needs to be warm, because like, you know, and then it can make approximately 12 balls.
12 balls.
You know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, also I put some dates, about 3 dates.
So is that only in that recipe? Because I haven't done it myself.
Yeah. It's in the recipe,
Okay.
but I think some people put honey in it, but I refuse to put
No,
sugar
don't put
or
it.
honey.
Yes.
So
Good.
I change it to dates.
Wow, there you go.
So yeah, instead of using honey or that, I use dates. And instead of, some people put peanut butter, and instead of peanut butter I use almond spread. And I replace it with water, because like you need to use honey or maple syrup. And
yes.
instead of that, I use 2 scoops of water, and two tablespoon or teaspoon of water. But some people don't, you know, if it's too dry, add a little bit more water.
Okay.
Or spread. But if I made it too wet, so I put a little bit more powder or a bit of muesli.
So Heidi, did you find it not sweet at all without the honey, or it was okay still?
It's good enough. I like it, because I don't like too sweet. And then
Yeah,
you
because
just
the
add a
shake is
bit
already
more.
got sweet, huh?
Yeah, because the dates is already sweet, and also the muesli and the nuts have dry fruit in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, not a lot, but at least you've got it. And
Yeah.
so to me it works, and because I use chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate nutrition.
The chocolate is quite nice, and if you want to, you can actually mix it. I forgot to put in some vanilla essence, so that's why it's not as sweet. But other than that,
Still good enough. Yeah.
for me it's good.
Yeah.
For me it's good, but mine is a bit too. And then so just to avoid it being too sticky,
Right.
then you over the top, after you finish, you put it you roll it over either like shredded coconut or peanut or whatever you like as a coating.
Yeah, because with short and steady, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
So,
yeah.
But if it depends on what your plan is, and you change alter it accordingly. And then I put it in the fridge. You can put it in the freezer. But because I'm out away from home for the whole week, so I use it as my snack. Because when I was away last week, I wanted in the afternoon, because I'm busy and I stress eat.
Yep.
So I just pop anything in my mouth whatever I can find, which was not good. So this time I'm prepared. So I make sure that I don't eat silly things. Yeah.
That really is inspiring, Heidi, because when I saw your post on Facebook, I was like, wow, I'm going to try that. I haven't, like, even I've been, doing TLS for so long, I haven't, but I normally like, protein balls or protein things that I buy from outside, so that's really good. And so Brian, Heidi is one of my fellow coaches as well. She's also a TLS coach. And so I would recommend, that's why I was saying that, you can, of course, have nutrition shake as your snack twice a day, but there are a lot of recipes that you can actually use to bake things or to make protein balls like Heidi shared and different things. Yeah. So that gives you some idea. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Heidi, for sharing. And so you were asking also, is the shake still as effective if you dilute it even more? Yeah, no, that's fine. But of course, then it won't be as tasty or like,
I found it to be incredibly sweet.
Really?
Just putting the 240 ml of water. I mean, it was real. I couldn't believe how sweet it was.
No, it's actually supposed to be 60. No, it's actually 2
I
scoops.
just followed the instructions on the back of the,
Yeah,
of the
2
bottle.
scoop. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 scoops plus 240 ml of water.
40 ml. You found it? Wow. So
It
you
was
you don't
just
have a
so
sweet tooth.
one of the sweetest shakes I've ever had.
Okay, no, it's very little, but that's fine. You add as much water as you like.
So you can put much more water in. Oh, good.
Yeah. Good, you
Right.
can. It
You know,
won't dilute it.
one other recommendation on those shakes is that sometimes my afternoon craving, I put 1 scoop of the shakes and 1 TLS, the coffee or the tea.
Yes.
Yeah, so that
posted-
that makes it like a mocha, and
Yeah.
it tastes really good,
I've been doing that.
especially the cafe.
Yeah. I've been doing that because the cafe and the trim tea both are quite plain and not sweet at all. So if you add in, it can actually neutralize the sweetness, which, Brian, I would highly recommend with the trim, whether you like tea or cafe. Yeah.
Love coffee.
Which I'm going to share right now, and so you know. All right, so guys, just bear with me, and I'm going to go to my next, not this one. Just a bit of summary of what we've been through the last few weeks. Okay, so after the seven simple steps, which I would highly recommend that you, of course, go through, then how has everyone been doing in terms of the last few weeks? I know that we all have different progress and different plans and different supplements that we are having, but has anyone got any issues or questions that you have in regards to how you've been doing? I know, like, say, for example, with Liwa, like, he has been doing exercises, but he's still been able to continue his commitment. And say, for example, who else? Like Simon, he's restarting doing his TLS. And so, any question, guys? And of course, I want to congratulate our newest member of this team, Brian. He's only just finished his detox. Today is the first day of his short and steady. Already lost 3 kilos and a few inches and centimeters. And so well done, Brian.
Thanks.
And so any question about how you've been doing, Liwa? Do you want to share a little bit about how your progress has been for the last few weeks?
Okay, Kitty. So I think I'm maintaining, but I think I need to reduce the fat. But the problem with me is I don't do much of the gym work.
Okay.
So because of the time, the schedule that I have.
Yes.
So most probably I might squeeze some time next month onward to
Yes.
do some gym work. So at least to get to build the muscle up.
Yes.
So I think that will compensate the things. Yeah, because
I agree.
as I read about,
Yeah.
in order to reduce, to increase the metabolism, you need to build muscle.
Definitely. Muscle dictates metabolism, Liwa.
Yes.
And so for us to be able to build muscle, I'm with you, because I'm also like you, skinny, but not necessarily enough muscle mass. And then what we need, because we both like a bit of like more cardio than doing weights, we need to definitely increase our weight. Yeah.
Yes. So because of next week, this coming weekend, I have a race. Is it a half marathon? So I've been concentrating on running most of the times. You see, so I didn't put much efforts on the muscle building.
Muscle building, yes, understand.
Yeah. After that, I might I may find some time then to do to change the trainings. The training schedule again, so I may build in some muscle building exercise into it. Yeah.
Good idea. So this Saturday you're doing half marathon, are you, Liwa?
Yeah.
Oh, all the best for us. We're cheering you on, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Kitty.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, so now next, journal. Okay, so in terms of journaling, how many of you here have got a journal with you that you're able to share a little bit about the first few pages in regards to your goals, which is the second and third pages, as well as like, you know, what kind of challenges you've been through and how have you been planning to overcome them. A silly question? No, no question is silly, you know, Brian. Does the spring from the TLS box go into the shaker for the TLS shakes? Yes, it does. Well, what happens is the spring that is inside, when you actually put the shake in with water, if you shake it, then it will actually mix the shakes better. That's
Awesome.
what the spring
Yeah.
is for.
Okay.
Okay, but of
Thanks.
course, once you've done that, you shake it, right? I mean, if you don't use that shaker, you know, cup, you can obviously use blender or other things as well. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. So Brian, you've started doing your journal. Can you share a little bit about what your goals are and how have you been seeing your challenges?
Yeah, I chose to lose weight slowly.
Yes.
Pretty much 6 kilos over 6 months. I thought
Yep.
that would be realistic. But
Yes.
the detox, I thought I'll just try my hardest to follow it.
Yeah.
and try and every time I got something wrong, listen to your advice and tried to do as much as I could. And I lost so much, 3 kilograms. I'm probably going to change my goals, I think.
Well, because detox, generally, if your body is toxic, that means, you know,
Yeah.
that means in the past, maybe you've actually had, you know, different free radicals that has been, you know, accumulated, or like you've been eating processed food or junk food or whatever it is, then it's very common, especially people like yourself who have not been on detox previously.
Never,
But
no.
there is always plateau once you get onto a menu plan like Sure and Steady, because you will be, as you already started today, having a bit of grains, a bit of, you know, extra food and protein and all that. So it will go on to a plateau, and that will mean you probably will only be losing like a kilo every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So definitely you will be able to lose your 6 kilos within this, you know, period of the TLS 12 in 3 months. There's no doubt about that. But you don't have to rush into it, as in like what I said with the 21-day, normally the fast shredder is 4.5 kilos in 3-4 weeks, but you don't need that. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that you love your carbs, you love a bit of sweet and different things like that, then, you know, Sure and Steady is the best for you.
Yeah. Nice and slow.
Yep. So well done there. And anyone else on this group that can share a little bit about your journal? Simon, have you been doing a bit of journal?
Well, I haven't. I've officially started today.
Oh, good. Well done. We started.
Yeah, last week wasn't a really good week.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this week I'm back on. I've had 2 shakes today.
Right.
And just what did I have? I had stroganoff for lunch.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Simon. Just like Simon, I'm sure that all of you would have been through, you know, some ups and downs. And I know even for me, I do that. And when that happens, remember this, don't be hard on yourself. And when you fall off the wagon, always understand that, you know, don't let one bad meal to lead to one bad day, or one bad day into one bad week, and one bad week into one bad month, and one bad year, right? And I've worked with hundreds of people, and I know that if you are able to fall off the wagon and then back on the horse, which Heath, you can share a little bit about your experience, can't you? Hey, Heath?
I have been struggling with doing the journaling, predominantly when my impulsivity kicks in and I end up binging, and I'm not fully aware of what I've eaten.
I see.
So,
understand. Yep. So, but
I journal what I can. So.
Yeah, what I love about the attitude of Heath is that he knows that if he falls off the wagon, sometimes he does because of certain conditions. However, he would always be willing to come back, right, Heath?
Yes, yes.
And that's what I so adore about him. And whether it's exercise, whether it's food, he always is willing to come back and, you know, restart again. And that's the thing for all of us. When we actually, you know, do things that might not be according to our TLS plan or whatever it is, don't give yourself hard time, and you know that you have me here to cheer you on, to support you, and you can always come to me if you need some support. Okay, so that's that. And then when you look at under journaling, what I would encourage as much as possible is weekly, if you can, measure your weight and your centimeters and your body composition. And then with your menu plan, you know, we do have the recipes that are pretty good, you know, in our website. And so you can always go to the website and follow those recipes if you lacking some ideas. And yeah, if you need some ideas, you can always go there. And so that's it. Okay, so before I continue, is there any other question or concern that you may have? And then I will answer them, and then I'll be sharing a little bit more about a summary of the last few weeks since we met last month, you know, of a summary of the different things that I'd like you to be reminded of. Anyone has any question, you can either unmute yourself or you can just type it in the group chat. Doesn't look like there is, that's okay then. All right, so what I'll do, I will share my screen again. And since last month we met in January, we've had 4 weeks, and I've done a bit of a summary of what you would have gone through if you watched the weekly videos, which included, you know, the different topics. So just to give you some summary of what you've would have been through the last few weeks, was week 1, jumpstart your success. Week 2, low glycemic impact eating and improving your metabolism. Week 3, how to read labels. Week 4, exercise and planning and dining out and nutrition. So these are the different things that if you have watched the videos, you would have had the information. But if you haven't, as I mentioned, I'm going to be sending you a whole playlist. Whenever you've got time available, you can then watch them. Okay, so let me just go through the second part of what we were going to go through, was the supplements. Okay, so in terms of supplements, apart from majority of us who are taking the isotonics, you know, whether it's the OPC3, the multivitamin, the isochrome, the nutrition shake, and some of us are taking, of course, the daily essentials, which I highly recommend. And for those of you who might not, I don't think you can see the screen, can you? Can you see the screen, just to make sure?
I can see the screen.
You can hit? Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so so just so you know, apart from those standard isotonics products which are available in Australia, we also have other very helpful TLS supplements. Depending on your needs, you can always get them to help you in terms of accelerating your weight management goals or your healthy journey as well. So here in front of you are 3 very helpful TLS supplements. They are the core, which is the first one on the left, which is the fat and carb inhibitor, which is caffeine free. The second one in the middle is the CLA, and the one on the right hand side is ADS, which is the adrenal cortisol thyroid and stress support formula. So the first one, as I mentioned, is core. Core is actually a fat and carb inhibitor. So it's actually not a blocker. So it doesn't actually block any carb that you eat, because as you may know, that there are good carbs and there are bad carbs. And so those carbs that are not good, then core will actually inhibit them to go into your body, and also bad fats as well. So basically, if you take call before, say, half an hour before the meals, it will help you to, suppress your appetite. It will help to inhibit the amount of starchy carbohydrates being absorbed by the body. So when we talk about starchy carbohydrates, they are the things like, white bread, or, pasta, or white rice, or like, things that generally, if you post those things, starchy carbohydrates, I would say, oh, please try to limit them. But let's say if you're going on to like a special parties of birthdays or like weddings or whatever it is, you need to eat those things, then have a couple of core before you take them. Then that will help you to stop overeating these starchy carbohydrates and fat. And it will help your body to stop converting the carbohydrates into fat. Because a lot of times when you have carbs, especially starchy carbs, they actually will turn into fat in your body. So you take 2 tablets twice a day before the largest meals. Okay, and then the second really helpful products is CLA. CLA is conjugated linoleic acid. Now, it's actually for people with stubborn belly fat. So I don't know about you. I've seen a lot of people, even they may be looking skinny, but to have belly fat. Belly fat is actually something that is really common, isn't it? And not only that, overall body fat, if you actually measure in your metabolic, the 10-liter scale, a lot of us actually may have extra body fat. So when you take CLA, it will help you to decrease the amount of fat stored and promote lean muscle mass. So for people that are wanting to build muscle, and if you've got more fat, then CLA may be a really good one, especially people that are wanting to be building muscle or body sculpting. All right, and it also provides best results when combined with exercise, of course, right? We can't just take products without taking any exercises. Very, very important. And then take 2 capsules before breakfast and lunch. And then the other one is X. X is really good for people who are stressed, because, we actually talk about 5 factors. One of them is stress, meaning that if you're stressed, it actually can cause us to have extra body fat. And so X stands for adrenal, cortisol, thyroid, and stress support formula. So adrenal, is the type of things that when we're actually feeling the fight or flight. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Thyroid is like, when a lot of women, when they actually, men as well, but mainly women, have thyroid issue, they actually suddenly find that they put on weight. It's not because they eat more or that they don't do exercise, but because of thyroid. And I've got, some clients that generally are not overweight, but then since they've got thyroid issues, they have become overweight, and then they started taking X, and that helped them as well. And so these are very good for people who are stressed, and also to help maintain normal level of cortisol to help control stress-related fat disposition. So if you are in a kind of work or like in a relationship or whatever that you're facing that causes stress, then I would highly recommend that you only take 2 capsules every day, and that will help you with your stress level. And then this is another one, and that is the TLS green coffee plus Garcinia Cambogia. Now, Garcinia Cambogia has been, in the press for a long time now, especially recently. A lot of research has been done about this. But, the one that TLS has is very superior in the sense that because it has green coffee, and that means that, it's actually not, caffeinated, but in a sense, it will help you facilitate the stored fat as a source of energy, which is fantastic because, a lot of us have extra fat disposition in our belly or body fat. If you take this one, it will help you to use the excess fat as a source of energy. So that means if you feel like you've been lethargic and lack of energy, if you take this, whatever fat extra that you have will help you to become more energetic. And that's amazing, isn't it? And they also help you with blood sugar levels if you have high sugar level as well. And I've seen quite a number of clients that have tried this, especially those that are in the US. They use it a lot more than Aussies, I find. But anyway, I've had a few people, not many, I have to admit, this is one out of, like, you know, core, CLA and X are more common here in Australia, or I don't know about Asia, but this one has been very popular in the US because a lot of people, when they have high sugar level, they take that, and that has been a really good help for them as well, and that will also you know, preserve muscle. And then this is really good as a complete green, and I actually put this in with my shake. And so, like, just now Brian was asking, oh, you know, it's a bit too sweet. When you find that if you put a bit of greens, or like Heidi said, the trim tea or trim cafe with the shake, then it won't be as sweet. And this one is really good because it has good source of fiber. It will help you, you know, maintain a healthy digestive tract, and really, like, anything with extra greens and enzymes and probiotic will help you to cleanse your body. So this is something I highly, highly recommend. At this stage, the complete greens is a powder form, but we've had leaders that have informed us that they may in the future even start, you know, producing with the manufacturers some isotonic form complete greens as well. Okay, so this is the one that I have had a lot of my students and clients and friends and family that have been using to have great result, and this is called the trim tea. Now, trim tea is basically something that is called thermogenic. Thermogenic means that it can help you with both weight loss, reduce your appetite, but more importantly, increase your metabolism. And if you want to actually build up muscle, that can help as well. And so if you have a look at the studies here, it says that there's this double-blind placebo with 10 weeks controlled study. With trim tea, there is a very active ingredient called well-trim IG, and there are 52 participants who lost an average of 28 pounds, which is about 9 kilos and 6.3% body fat. And in other clinical studies with well-trimmed IG has been able to help people with all sorts of issues, whether it's protein level, reactive blood glucose level. So people that have like high sugar level or diabetes, trim tea has been able to help them reduce the symptoms as well. And of course, like fat production, cholesterol as well. And the good thing is, LDL cholesterol is the bad cholesterol. It can also help with the reduction of that. So as you can see, it not only help you to slim your body by reducing your weight, increase metabolism, it also helps with different conditions, whether it's blood sugar level, whether it's cholesterol or fat production. So that is amazing. But what I would recommend is to only drink 1 cup a day. You don't really need more than 1. And as I mentioned, with the nutrition shake, you have 2, that's fine. But with this one, the studies have shown that you only need 1. You can have it hot or cold. So once you have a sachet, put it in with hot water. You can drink it hot, or you put some ice in to drink it cold. And it's really, really affordable. And it's, it works out. I mean, at this stage, we can only get it from Global, but when you look at it, it's below $2 a cup, so that's not bad at all. And so we always recommend that people take 3 boxes, because 1 box is a month, 3 boxes are 3 months. You will definitely see the result, and take it every single day and don't stop, because when you're able to do that, a lot of results have been testified. And if you want to know more about it, you can ask me. I have had a lot of testimonials from different clients and students and friends that I have that have shown great results, before and after photos, even just having trim tea without really going through the full program of TLS. But having said that, of course, the best way to have an all-round best results is to go through all 4 pillars, right? But for those people that might not even be able to just do exercise too much because they might be injured or anything like that, then TLS, trim tea or cafe are both very helpful. Okay, so now I'm just really gonna be quickly going through the different menu plan that our team, particularly a few of you, have been using, mainly sure and steady and rapid results. Okay, so with sure and steady and rapid result, make sure that if you're gonna have a starch or carbs, you have to have whole grains only. So carbohydrates, whole grains, rather than white bread or even other forms of white whole meal is not as good. So white whole grain bread is what I think a lot of you would know already is the best type of bread. And when it comes to reading labels, pay attention to the serving size and the ingredients list, as well as the net carbs to be in the single digits. And remember the fabulous fives. That means there are 4 different fives. 5 grams of fat or less per serving, then that's a good thing. 5 grams of sugar or less, 5 grams of fiber or more, 5 grams of protein or more. So what that means is you try to limit your fat and sugar, which is number 1 and 2, less per serving. So if you see a label or something, you can see that the fat and sugar is less than 5 grams, then they are okay. Whereas if you can find anything in a label with more than 5 grams of both fiber and protein, then that'll be good for you, because in TLS there is a very important saying that fiber and protein in every meal makes losing weight no big deal. So if you forget everything that I have shared with you tonight, this is the one thing I want you to remember. Fiber, which includes a lot of different types of fruits and vegetables, or like some form of nuts, and protein in every meal makes losing weight no big deal. So every single meal that you're gonna have, whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or your snack, you do need to have both fiber and protein. That's why protein shake is so good, because in a protein shake we have 10 to 12 grams of protein, 12 grams of protein and 10 to 11 grams of fiber. So that's really good. And if you can pair protein and fiber at every meal, then you definitely would see a difference in your weight loss journey, as well as your healthy lifestyle. All right, in terms of exercise, the ideal forms of exercise for someone that is wanting to lose weight is to do 30 minutes every day of some kind of exercise, incidental or planned. What is incidental exercise? Well, incidental exercise is the type of exercise that is not planned. So say, for example, you park your car more away from where you work and you walk, or instead of going on a lift or elevator, you walk the stairs. So this is what we call incidental. Whereas planned exercise is the type that you actually take time out. Say, for example, for me, every Monday, like today, I go swimming, right? That is planned. And then Wednesday, let's say I go for jogging. Friday, I go and do Zumba. Well, in fact, Wednesday I do Zumba. So that kind of thing is planned, right? So I'm sure that all of you can actually take time out. It's important. What gets scheduled gets done. So 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be every day. I know that, with the sure and steady menu plan, 3 to 5 days are okay. All right. Once a week, if you can do an hour and a half of 90 minutes of workout, that is wonderful. Or twice a week of 30 minutes of cardio and aerobic exercises, things that will actually get your heart rate pumping quicker. Okay, twice a week. And then twice a week of resistance, weight training, and strength-based workouts. So use your body weight or your bodybuilding type, resistance training. Then you'll be able to build muscle, and muscle dictates metabolism. Then you'll be able to burn fat in the body. And also twice a week, if you're able to do some form of flexibility exercises, whether it's body yoga, body balance, Pilates, or like stretching exercise. So any form of a combination of this would be wonderful. So maybe you can just share, guys, in the group chat, what kind of exercises have you guys been doing? maybe you can just type it in the group chat, and whether it's incidental or planned. Do you do more cardio aerobic? Like I know that with Liwa, because he's training for his half marathon for this weekend, of course he would be doing a lot more training of cardio and running. Whereas others that might want to be building more muscle, then they do a bit more weight training. I know that with Heath, he goes to the gym and he does quite a fair bit of weight training. And I know with Jody, I don't know, Jody might not be on this call right now. I think she's busy tonight. She does a fair bit of training on weight training and strength base. That's wonderful as well. And I have my cousin in Malaysia. She's actually a yoga teacher. So she does a lot of flexibility exercises. So Brian said an hour of mowing the lawn on the weekend, definitely that is incidental exercise. That is something that you do without planned. I suppose you can say that that's planned as well, but that kind of exercise is incidental, right? And I know in the past, Simon used to say he would be doing like chopping the wood for his mom at home, right? So that is also incidental exercise. Okay, so in terms of planning and dining out, if you can actually review restaurants' menu or out online before going out, that's a good thing. And if you order first and not follow others who may sabotage you. So once you actually go into a restaurant, if you're planning to dine out, to actually know what you want before you go in. And number 3 is not everyone may be with you on this healthy journey or understand you, but it doesn't matter as long as you are you know that this is what you want to achieve, then you won't be letting others sabotage you. And number 4 is remind yourself what your why and goals are, because at the center of everything is your why. If you know why you want to be healthy, why you want to lose weight, what your goals are, then you can actually focus on doing what needs to be done. Right. Then number 5, if you feel tempted, like who doesn't, right? Like when we see yummy food or like foods that might not be the best for us, we get tempted, right? When that happens, because people, they accept unhealthy, it doesn't mean that you have to as well. You do have a choice, and you can inspire and influence others. If anything, if you were able to be someone that to help others and inspire and influence others, then that would be really wonderful, right? That is something that I have set out to do as a TLS coach and trainer, because I feel that health is wealth. Your first wealth is your health. And if you're able to help people reach their wellness and their weight goals and to be healthy, then life will be a lot more beautiful, right? So that's something I think, you guys can pay it forward as well. And this is one thing I really want you guys to be aware of when it comes to portion control. Now, if you want to be maintaining your existing weight, then when you have your food, then protein portion, whether it's meat, whether it's vegetable, is 1 palmful. With carbohydrates, whether it's starch, whether it's whole grain or rice and stuff like that, or bread, it's 1 wristful. And then with vegetable, it has to be 2 palmfuls. So anything more, then give it away or share it with a friend or family, or leave it. Because if you eat more than what you should, then that's what we call portion distortion. If you distort it in terms of the portion that you're supposed to eat, then of course you will gain weight, because our weight, our body fat percentage, is actually proportional to the type of food that we eat. Of course, if you actually have more than intake than the way that you expand, then you will be gaining weight or body fat as well. Okay. And so finally, I'd just like to share about vitamins. Vitamins are very important, and because, generally it functions as the coenzymes, and it is produced by living organism, which acts as a catalyst to bring about specific biochemical reactions. And so that's why every single one of us really do need to have vitamins. And so why do we advocate for the isotonic supplements rather than other supplements? Because iso is the same, tonic is pressure. So when you put together an isotonic supplement like the ones that you are all having with a powder form and add with water, so it's the same fluid pressure as your bodily fluid, like your sweat, your tears, and your blood, then you'll be able to absorb it really quickly and more percentage. So generally, if you, let's say, take your OPC3, which is the antioxidant, very powerful and potent, or your multivitamin, or your isochrome. So that's what you generally take as you're going through your detox or the 21 or 30 days. And for most other people, after that would be recommended for you to take the daily essential kits. When you do that, then you actually are able to consume 90 to 95% of the nutrients. Whereas if you actually take the supplements as tablet form or like, you know, drugs, then a lot of it, because of the fillers and binders, will actually only absorb very, very little percentage, and it's a waste of money that way. So that's why isotonic is the state where we are able to absorb a lot more. So as I mentioned, you know, there's a difference between isotonic powder form with water versus tablets. So as on the left-hand side, there's no dilution. Everything is natural, and it delivers the highest concentration and bioavailability than any tablets on the market. Whereas if you take, you know, 5 minutes, it will actually go into the bloodstream already, because the stomach doesn't need to digest it. Whereas with the vitamin tablets, there is a dilution factor, because when it goes in, the stomach will have to digest the tablets, and because of that, then of course it will be diluted, resulting in a very low concentration of nutrients. So studies have shown that with isotonics liquid, when you add the powder with water, that's why, you know, Brian, I was just sharing, when you drink the OPC3, the multivitamin, and the isochrome together as a cocktail, you can drink it all together as an isotonic cocktail, because when you drink it, it all goes in to your bloodstream together. Does that make sense? And then with tablets, though, if you drink it, you know, you only get 20-25%, whereas with the isotonic supplements, you will get at least 90-95%. So 5 minutes, it will go into your body already with the isotonic, whereas with tablets, it may, you know, be up to 4 hours before you actually get the benefits of only part of the nutrients. Okay, so that's basically what I'd like to share. So these were the different things that we have been going through in the last few weeks. If you have actually watched the weekly videos that I've sent you, you would have already seen some of this summary that I've shared, but I would highly recommend that you go back and watch them again. And so there are some of you that are quite new in this program that might not even have seen some of my other videos. I would highly recommend that you take time out to go back and watch them. So I see there's some extra comments here in the chat. Okay, let's have a look. Liwa welcomes Brian to the group. So Brian was asking, do the menu plan show several meal examples for the Sure and Steady program? Yes, it does. Have you not seen the Sure and Steady plan that I've sent you? It's already in like a PDF form. Brian, I'll just unmute you. Haven't you seen that one?
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, so you should be able to see the actual examples, but you can also go into my website, you know, the tlscoach.info.
Yep.
Go in there and then go to resources.
Okay. Yep.
And then from resources, go into recipes.
Yep.
From recipes, you find Sure and Steady.
All
and
right.
then you can just download that and print it out or put it into your.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Great.
So there are heaps of examples for the Sure and Steady program. Yeah.
Excellent.
Or as with any other program, whether it's rapid results, whether it's continued commitment. And Heidi says she loves the carb. Yes, I am aware that Heidi has used the carb and fat inhibitors, which helps her during the Christmas and Chinese New Year festivities. And she's also tried the CLA, and it helped her reduce 3 to 5 centimeters in 4 weeks. And is amazing. Yeah, that's it's really wonderful that Heidi has that experience, and I've had many other friends and family also like Heidi who have had the experiences of using these helpful TLS products, whether it's carb, whether it's CLA like Heidi has used, or like I said, X. If they feel stressed, they use X, or cortisol, or adrenaline issue, or people that want to reduce their blood sugar level, then the green coffee Garcinia Cambogia is also very good. And of course, the trim tea, trim cafe as well. So maybe you can, if you haven't already, you can actually try that, because, trim coffee, trim cafe, as I mentioned, has a lot of research done to show that people have had great results on those too. So last but not least, as I mentioned, I have a list of all the playlist of every single week of the training of the 4 pillars and 12 weeks of the things that I've done. So I've posted that in our latest TLS WhatsApp group already. So you can just go into there and type that playlist whenever you can, just watch them. And if you have time, it would be even better. You can actually post them into the group chat and share with one another what are some of your learnings and takeaways, because I find that when people are able to watch it, take notes, post them up, they actually learn a lot more. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. And if you don't have any question, we'll just call it a night. And we can, of course, keep on sharing in the WhatsApp group or Facebook group. Okay, so take care, everyone. And I hope that this was helpful to you all.
Thanks, Kitty.
Take care. Bye for now.
Very helpful.
Thanks, Kitty.
Welcome, Stephanie. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.